Almost everyone now wants to become a content creator. Like even in school, you have the choice of selecting between a YouTuber, a content creator, a streamer. Like we never had those options back in our day. And with the content creation market projected to reach $181 billion in a little under 10 years, I'm gonna show you guys how Razer's interactive lighting will help you achieve a badass streaming setup that will level up your engagement and immersion on streams. And we're gonna do it with the help of the Siren V3 Chroma and the Kyo Pro Ultra, which are the components that the entire setup is built around. So let's get to it. I've always said this in the past. A great setup always begins with a solid foundation. The bamboo desk I'm currently using in the studio doesn't really fit the aesthetic I'm going for, so I got rid of it and I upgraded to the Vernal standing desk instead. The setup process was extremely easy and it took me less than 10 minutes to assemble everything. Oh, it's actually going up pretty quick. And it's relatively quiet. I've heard some really loud standing desks before. This is actually fairly quiet for how fast it's going up. So max height looks like 49.2 inches. That's really tall. I'm 6'2", and this is a little tall for me. I would say 46 is perfect. It's like arm length. I love the fact that the desk came with a metal rack underneath, which will help with cable management. And we got 2 grommets in the corners to help pass through wires instead of having to drill additional holes. I also attached a keyboard tray in the middle, which doubles as extra storage, which I'm sure will come in handy as we continue to build a setup. This will definitely help keep our surfaces neat and tidy, but the cool thing about this drawer is that you can still reach inside without having to pull out the entire tray. Okay, wow, I'm impressed. It doesn't have quite as much wobble compared to other standing desks, even when it's fully raised to the top. So the keyboard tray was just one of the many add-ons, a part of the whole setup in one accessory system. These extension boards are another piece you can add on to the desk. So this desk is actually 60 by 27.5 inches, which is more than enough to build our setup on. However, we can extend the length by adding these extension boards on both sides. This will give me almost 12 more inches of width to work with. Now, if this setup was powered by a PC tower, then I would have gone with an extension and put the PC here. This would have been a perfect place for it. That way we're not taking up any additional space from the main setup area. But what I'm building right now, we're not gonna need this. By the way, the desks do come in a bunch of different color combinations and sizes, along with more cool add-ons like this side cabinet for additional storage. All right, now that we're done building the desk, let's move on to building the actual setup. Let's start with the monitor. Razer only made one monitor, and it's the 27-inch Raptor with a 1440p resolution and 165 Hz refresh rate. Even after 3 years, it still looks like a gaming monitor from 2024. I love that the cables are also in green, which is going to contribute to the black on green color scheme that I'm going for. This part is a little tedious, getting all the cables through the raceways, but the end result is definitely going to be worth it. Okay, monitor done. All right, let's go to set up the peripherals next. Okay, we're gonna start off with the Razer Black Widow V4 Pro. This comes with Razer's green mechanical switches, double shot ABS keycaps, and this really cool immersive underglow, which we're gonna test out in Razer Synapse once we have the entire setup complete. The mouse we're going with is the Basilisk V3 Pro. This features Razer's Hyper Scroll tilt wheel, up to 11 programmable buttons, and 13-zone chroma lighting with full underglow. This also features next-gen wireless charging when you pair it with the Mouse Dock Pro, which is what we're gonna do here in order to get really fast charging on the mouse. And finally, we're gonna finish off with the brand new Firefly V2 Pro mousepad. So this is the detachable wrist rest, which I believe is magnetic, and attaches to the bottom here like that. You can kind of hear it click in place, actually. When the keyboard comes with 2 detachable USB-C cables, you know it means serious business. I gotta say, I do love the packaging of Razer's products. That's comfortable, yeah. I dig it. So this is the wireless mouse charging dock. It's even integrated with a 4K Hertz transceiver. That was clearly done on purpose. So we got our USB-C cable here. This plugs in the back, and then the USB plugs in the back of the PC. Okay. And now we got the mouse pad. So we're just going with a traditional square mouse pad this time instead of an extended, because we only need a mouse pad for the mouse itself, because the keyboard is gonna go inside our drawer. There it is, nice. This also has a USB 3 pass-through, nice. Okay, let's first put the keyboard inside here. Oh, that's perfect. Nice and snug. And then we can route the cable towards the back. I love these little cutouts over here, making it easy to route through the cable. Look at that. Nice. Let's go ahead and close this and tuck it away. See, now we just freed up some extra space on the top of the desk. The mouse pad goes here. Conveniently, we have a grommet in the back to pass through the cable. And we'll put the mouse on top of here just for now. As far as the charging dock, I can probably put it somewhere underneath the monitor so it's not visible, but for now we'll keep it here and then route the cable through the grommets. This is all temporary until we put everything on the desk. That way I can visualize what it's gonna look like at the end. So we'll just keep it here for now. As far as what's gonna be powering the entire setup, it's actually gonna be right here in this box. The Razer Blade 18. This baby is packing the i9-13950HX processor, 32 gigs of RAM, and the RTX 4090 laptop graphics card. A laptop so powerful, we don't need a dedicated desktop PC to stream or create content. So the laptop's monitor is actually going to be our primary display because this has a 240 Hz refresh rate as opposed to the 144 Hz from the Raptor. So the Raptor will be our secondary display, which we can use for multitasking and reading our chat while we're streaming. But the problem here is if we put the laptop in front of the monitor, it's gonna block off 1/3 of its view. So we're gonna have to fix that. And that is where this stylish folded monitor stand comes in handy. That is perfect. One thing I like about the monitor stand is that we can route our cable under it so it stays somewhat hidden. Now we gotta plug this into the laptop. I don't like that. I don't like how the cable is sticking out too much. Let's see if we can fix this. I do have these little right angle HDMI adapters that we can use, so I think we'll have a much cleaner path if I plug this in. Oh yeah, so much better. Look at that. Let's go ahead and extend these displays. We'll put number 2 on top. And in terms of refresh rate, we are getting 240 Hz on the laptop and 144 Hz on the Raptor. Very nice. Let's go ahead and change the wallpaper to something better. There we go. Let's also get rid of the taskbar on the second monitor. We definitely don't need that. And clean up the taskbar itself. No search box, Copilot, task view, and widgets. There we go. Already looking like a true Razer setup. I do think the setup is missing one crucial element so far, and that is an extended mouse pad for two reasons. Number one, it will protect the desk and keep it from getting dirty. But also number two, more importantly, I like putting my hands and wrists on a soft material as opposed to, hard edges. So that is where the TechSource green liquid mouse pad will come in play. Okay, so before we continue, we got to do something with the connectivity, because after plugging in our mouse pad, and keyboard, we are out of ports on the Razer laptop. So that is where this baby comes in. A Thunderbolt 4 and USB 4 dual HDMI docking station. This will extend the amount of ports we have from the Razer laptop so that we can plug in the rest of our gear. I do want to point out real quick that Razer also offers a USB-C dock as well with even more USB ports, but I couldn't get a unit on hand in time for the video, unfortunately, so we're gonna go with this. Okay, looks like everything is working. Let's test out the keyboard. Oh, very nice. Okay, now let's install the two most crucial elements of this entire setup, and that is, of course, the Keo Pro Ultra and the Siren V3 Chroma. Without a face cam, your viewers can't see you. Then there's no way for you to develop that relationship with your audience. And the webcam is obviously useless without a microphone. There's no way for you to communicate with your audience. So that is why these two elements are very, very important to any content creator or streamer setup. So let's start with the Keo Pro Ultra webcam and unbox this real quick. So this is actually able to shoot in 4K resolution thanks to its ultra large sensor. 12.84 millimeters to be exact. That's like over 2 times larger than other webcams to capture in more light. And this is able to convert raw 4K 30 FPS into uncompressed 4K 24 FPS or 1080p 60 FPS into uncompressed 1080p 60 FPS. Obviously the Keo Pro Ultra sounds really good on paper, but how is the actual video quality? Let's go ahead and plug this in and take it for a test drive. The good thing is it's plug and play. There's a single USB-C cable that plugs into the back of the camera, and the other USB Type A cable plugs into the laptop. Let's put this on the top monitor. Oh, it even comes with a little cover, so when you're done streaming, you can pop this on for a bit of privacy. The Keo Pro Ultra also comes with a built-in privacy shutter that you can activate when you're done with your streams. That's another thing with DSLRs. Like, they can be expensive and complicated to set up. You have to go into the settings and fine-tune it so it's optimized for your streams. But with the Keo Pro Ultra, it's literally just plug and play. All right, this is set up. Let's go ahead and launch the camera app. Whoa! I can see the oil on my forehead. It's a little too good. I did not expect this quality from a webcam. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Dang, I can see like the creases on my shirt, each individual hair strand. The lights on my studio aren't optimized for this direction, by the way. It's optimized for the other side where the wall panels are. So the fact that the image looks this crisp and clear in pretty bad lighting conditions is impressive. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, let's go ahead and test the autofocus real quick. See how fast it focuses. Walking out of frame, walking back in. Oh, wow. That was pretty instant, actually. Okay, there we go. So sometimes it takes a second or two. Okay, but overall not bad. Okay, let's say I'm bringing something in frame. Let's see how fast it'll detect it and focus. Okay, so it definitely takes a second for it to register the product and then focus. So it's not slow, but it's not wicked fast either. And if you're streaming games, most of the time you're gonna be stationary in the same spot. Once in a while, you might bring something up to the camera and you just gotta wait a second for it to focus. So, not a huge deal. Okay, but how does it do in low light? Let's check it out. Oh, wow. That's impressive. You can see the difference. Like on my camera, everything is pitch black, but on the Kyo Pro Ultra, the entire room is lit fairly well to a point where you can see everything. That is night and day difference coming from my camera. The only light source in this studio right now are just the lights that are bleeding between my window blinds. Other than that, there's no other source of light. And it's actually doing a really good job. I'm impressed. Wow. What I find impressive is that a lot of other brands claim 4K quality for their webcams, but Razer is actually one of the very few that offers DSLR level 4K quality in a simplicity of a plug and play webcam. One final test I want to do with the camera is auto exposure. Let's see how well it will adjust if there's a brighter light behind me. So the Kyo Pro Ultra has easy to use metering options where it determines the exposure based on different focus points. So for example, average for overall lighting, center for the middle of the scene, and lastly, based on the face in the scene. So it's gonna prioritize whatever is in the foreground every single time. So if there is bright light in the background, it's always gonna focus on essentially you and make sure that your face is well lit. So while you're streaming, this is the quality you can expect to achieve by simply plugging in the microphone. But if you want access to advanced customizations, you can get that through Razer Synapse. So through here, you have access to zoom, but you can't do it in 4K. You have to downscale it to 1080p. You also have manual focus options and even exposure. You can set it to manual and adjust the exposure to your liking. All right, now let's unbox and take a closer look at the new Siren V3 microphone. So this is a pro-grade USB mic that comes packed with a ton of features, and this comes in black, white, and quartz flavors. But obviously I went with the white version so that we can keep the white on black contrast more consistent across the entire setup. Oh, that's a very clean design of the microphone. I'm digging the minimalistic vibe. Okay, quick sound test with the Siren V3 Chroma. This is without any editing or tuning. I've done a test before this, so I know it sounds clear and crisp, but you guys can be the judge. Let me know in the comment section what you think of the sound quality of the Siren V3 Chroma. Another cool feature of the mic is the digital gain limiter and the built-in shock absorber. This is absolutely crucial for every streamer because when we rage inside of a game and we're smacking our desk or we scream into the microphone out of excitement, the microphone will prevent your audio from peaking or clipping, which results in this really clean, distortion-free audio. And for this next part, make sure the volume is all the way down, you guys. I don't want to destroy your eardrums, okay? I'm going to demonstrate the digital gain limiter of the microphone. So here we go. We just got a dub. Let's go! Dubs all around, baby! I just love the fact that it's plug and play. You don't have to buy any extra equipment or mess with a ton of settings. You get all the important functions right on the mic itself. However, if you do want more intuitive controls and customization, you could find it all on the Razer Synapse. So let's say I'm in the middle of a game and my wife barges in the room screaming at me because I forgot to turn on the dishwasher. Or maybe my daughter started crying next to me because they want to go to a water park. Well, I can simply tap on the mic to mute it. I can also set additional functions for double tap and triple tap. So for example, I have double tap set to cycle between the different chroma effects on the microphone. And I have the triple tap set to toggle the mic's digital gain limiter. And you can even program a long press for 3 seconds for any action. I currently have it set to control the volume level of the headphones. And as you can see, the lights actually change as I'm adjusting the volume. Red means 0. Now this is a super cardioid condenser microphone, which means it's gonna pick up the surrounding noises a lot easier compared to a dynamic microphone. And while the stand itself is pretty and convenient, it's simply not gonna work with this setup because it's gonna be picking up the key presses of the laptop. Not to mention it's gonna be in a very awkward spot because of where the laptop is located. So we're gonna have to ditch this and go with a boom arm. All right, boom arm is set up. So let's say if I wanna move it over here, as I'm using the laptop or even the keyboard. Look at that, perfect. And then when I'm done using it, I can just tuck it away right over here. Perfect. Of course, you can't have a streaming setup without some streaming lights. So we'll be adding 2 of the key light chromas. And the cool thing about these lights is that not only can you control the brightness and the temperature, but you can also change the RGB colors as well. So you can create some really cool ambient and mood lighting with your setup. Oh, what? These are ginormous. Oh my God, I didn't think they would be this big. These are huge. All right, setup is coming along nicely. I'm very happy with the progress. I would say we are more than halfway done with it. I decided to move the key lights towards the edge of the desk. That way we can make more space in the back for other gear. I think this positioning is a lot better. Also, we have the lights facing directly at us, which is perfect. But with that said, it is now time for the ultimate unboxing section. Okay, you know what, let's cut the BS, all right? I'm sure we can all agree I look amazing in the Kraken Kitty V2s. Okay, this is peak human aesthetics that you're looking at right now. All jokes aside, this headset is extremely comfortable. Like, the ear cups are nice and soft. I can see myself wearing these for long hours during the stream without any fatigue, and it does a pretty decent job blocking outside noise. The only gripe I have with this headset is that I wish the microphone was detachable because, you know, we're using a dedicated mic obviously, so we don't need the built-in mic on the headset. But other than that, I'm digging the headset. Alternatively, the Kraken Kitty V2 Pro has a removable mic option if that's the route you want to take. So the kitty ears are here to stay. They're essentially baked into the headset band. But if this design of ear doesn't float your boat, you can go with the Kraken Kitty V2 Pros instead, and you could swap them out with multiple different ear styles. You can also choose between the Kitty V2 and the Kitty V2 Bluetooth for the iconic kitty ear in wired and wireless versions. So you got choices. The headset obviously needs a stand, so let's go ahead and unbox that and set that up next. So we'll be going with the Base Station V2 Pro to hold our headset, and the cool thing about this is that it comes with 2 built-in USB 3 ports. We do have the wireless controller charger on the right side, so it makes sense to put the Base Station over here on the left, just so we can balance out the entire setup. And we got the grommets in the desk to pass through the cables. Perfect. So we kind of sort of are running out of desk space, as you guys can see here. I had no idea Razer has this much setup gear, which is a good thing, but we have a very small desk. We might have to end up using those extensions on the sides, but let's just see what happens. I definitely do want to still add the Aether monitor light bar, so let's see if there's any space left to hook this up. Okay, so unfortunately, just as expected, I can't use both a monitor light bar and the face cam at the same time because we don't have that much space on the top of the monitor, so we have to pick and choose. I was hoping there would be some sort of thread on top so that we can attach the webcam like this somehow, but unfortunately, this light bar does not have that. And I'd much rather have the camera than the light bar because this is more crucial when we're streaming, obviously. You can't really stream to your viewers without a face cam, so we'll hook this up anyways just to test it out, but we're going to take it down afterwards. All right, let's go and turn off the lights real quick. Oh, it's such a nice light bar. That is unfortunate that we can't use it. Oh, there's even some RGB lights in the back. That's cool. That's pretty dope, yeah. If we had one more monitor in this setup, let's say vertical on either display, I would have easily put the face cam on that one, and then I would have kept the monitor light bar on the top display. But unfortunately, we don't have enough displays to work with, so we're gonna have to take this down. as much as I hate to. All right, let's add some RGB lighting to the setup. I feel like we don't have enough. Now we do have 2 of the Aether Lamp Pros to work with, but seeing how cramped the desk is getting really quickly, I feel like we can just stick with 1 for now and then put the other one somewhere in the back so it looks nice on our streams. Whoa, that's cool. Loving that click sound. Okay, so you can control the brightness, and this is RGB, I'm guessing. That's so cool. Okay, the last Razer item I want to add is an RGB strip. Okay, I attached the strips on the back of the desk and I synced it to the Razer Gamer Room app on my smartphone. Let's go ahead and launch this. Bam! Looking pretty good. They are as bright as I expected. And the cool thing with the app is that we can change the colors to anything we want. And there's kind of like a slow fade to the color, so it doesn't change instantly. It's a fade transition, which is pretty cool. And then down here we have like 4 different RGB effects that we can choose from. So we got spectrum, we got breathing, and then we got the wave. The wave one's pretty cool, but we have a very specific color scheme to stick with, so let's go back to green for now. Let's also work on this atrocious cable management, assuming you guys haven't roasted me in the comment section already. But I have actually a much easier way of doing this, using these magnetic cable ties. And this works effectively against any desk that has any type of metal surface or some sort of metal underpart. So in this case, we have a cable rack. So here's what I'm gonna do. So here's a quick demonstration. As you can see, we have a ton of loose cable slack. So I'm going to grab some of the cables that are going in the same direction. So here we go, 3 separate cables. We're gonna combine them together and I'm gonna start folding them. Here's 1. And then here's 2. So there you go. Here's a nice lump of cables. As you can see, we're going to take our cable tie and just wrap it together like this. We'll do it a couple times. And join it back together. The magnetic pieces will connect together, and this part we're going to attach to our metal surface. Boom! There you go. Not only are the cables grouped together, but now it's hiding behind this cable raceway. You're not going to be able to see it from the front. Okay, nice and tidy from the back. Let's see what it looks like from the front. You know, even after all these years, I still somehow impress myself. What kind of a person would I be if I didn't include pencil drawer? And we can use this to store some of the items that we keep on our desk to keep the surface nice and clean. So I've got our unboxing knife, the shutter cover for the face cam, and a couple of USB drives. Also, I'm not really digging the green camo mouse pad. I feel like there's a bit too much green in here. So let's go ahead and swap this out real quick. Let's go with the Topo V2. Way better. And of course, no setup is complete without the gaming chair. Introducing the Isker V2. With a super wide seat base and adaptive lumbar support for your lower back, combined with a really fluffy pillow, this will support both your gaming activities and your extreme activities. So here it is, ladies and gents, my completed full Razer streaming gaming setup. We did have a last minute addition with the Razer Stream Deck since it got lost in the mail, but it arrived just in time for the completion. And honestly, without it, it wouldn't really be a streaming setup, considering this provides so much synergy because it offers complete control over all of the gear and the apps. Like I can set up shortcuts, macros, and control my entire audio for the PC and streams. The entire setup came out just as I expected, with both function and form. We can pull out the keyboard tray and use that whenever we want. We can dock our mouse to charge it conveniently. We have additional storage space to keep the surface neat and tidy, and the amazing Vernal standing desk gives us the option to stand up and stretch the legs, promoting a healthy lifestyle. This is a true testament to prove that you don't need a desktop PC to build a fully functioning streaming setup. You can actually do it with a laptop, given that you have the specs to push your gear, of course. I know I have an RTX 4090 laptop GPU in here, but you don't need something that powerful to run a streaming setup. The fact that we stuck with all Razer gear makes it that much easier to control all of our devices because we stayed on the same ecosystem. All of our gear is visible on the Razer Synapse software, and we can completely customize how we interact with every single one of them, whether it's to change the RGB colors or have access to additional settings. So since the laptop has a higher refresh rate, that is where we'll be doing our gaming. That's going to be our primary display, and our Raptor monitor on top will be our secondary, which I've split into two separate windows. As you guys can see, I have my chat window on the left side where I can read my viewers' messages, and I got my OBS on the right to make sure that the stream is running perfectly fine. And I just died. Another benefit of sticking within the Razer ecosystem is that we can have all of our gear and streams react to our Razer gear. This is actually a pretty cool feature. Check this out. So within the Streamer Companion app, we can have our Razer gear react to specific alerts from our stream. So for example, if we want the lights to react to every single follow we get on Twitch, then we simply go over to the follow section and we enable this option. Then we simply add all the devices that we want to use this feature. So I'm wearing the Razer Kraken V2s. I also have the Razer Siren V3 Chroma, but we can also sync our other Razer Chroma RGB products. So for example, if we want our laptop, our mouse, mousepad, keyboard to react to the lights as well, then we simply go down here and select all of these options. And on this page, we can select any effect or color that we want. Just to keep things simple, I'll go ahead and select the Starlight option, and I'll go with red and blue just so it's easier to show up on camera. Oh look, we just got a brand new follower. How freaking cool is that, honestly? You can change the duration of every single component. You can change the colors, you can change the effects, you can even mix and match. Like let's say if you want to change the colors and effects on the microphone and the headset and everything else to be static, you can do that as well. Not only can you set alerts for follows, but you can do it for everything else. You can do it for subscriptions, you can do it for cheers, chat messages, hosts, raids, and not only does this add more engagement to your streams, but your viewers are more inclined to sending donation just to see the light show. It's been proven before. On top of that, you can also have Razer gear react to in-game events. In fact, they have over 300 games compatible with this feature. For example, in Diablo 4, all the lights default to static red, as you can see here. And when you start taking damage and your health dips under 30%, it's gonna start blinking, letting you and your viewers know that your character is about to die. Unfortunately, you can't have both Game React and Stream React features enabled at the same time. You have to pick and choose which one you want, and you can do that in the Chroma Connect settings. All in all, I'm very happy with how the streaming setup came out, but feel free to rate my setup in the comment section down below. I'll also drop everything I used in the setup down below if you guys want to check it out. Thank you to Razer for sending all the gear out and sponsoring this video, and thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.